reach out to the company and make sure you identify with the brand and call and ask questions. But sometimes you just got to try things. Another thing you want to look for is whole plant. So they're using the whole plant with everything in it. They call it full spectrum, but that doesn't really mean they're using the whole plant. If you look at a COA, you can count all different cannabinoids like CBD, CBG, CBC, CBN. And if it has all the cannabinoids, the whole plant like ours, then you know you're getting a whole plant product.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Welcome back to the Miracle Plant Podcast, where we discuss this miracle plant with so many names and how it's helping people in so many extraordinary ways. Well, guess what? We got ourselves another blast from the past. Buddy of mine, Christopher Rausch, had me on his incredible podcast, so gracious to be a guest and just sit back, relax. He's certainly unscripted. And he definitely doesn't mind dropping a couple F-bombs and whatnot, but that's just how he rolls. And we had a really great conversation. And it's fun for me to listen to some of these podcasts that I've been on other shows because, you know, we're all evolving and we're all learning. And that's great about podcasts is that you're documenting your journey. So as I learn things or share insights, I'm remembering things that I knew about, you know, the journey or about cannabis and hemp and this miracle plant. And so it's great to kind of relearn from myself. So I recommend all of you that are out there that have a message that make sure that you're sharing it one way or the other, whether you're writing it in a blog or a social media post, or you're sharing it on videos or going on other people's shows or a podcast, but just document your journey because it's so cool today with technology that you can take sometimes just the links of a podcast or the links of a video or of course your blog, and you can upload it into AI and it can actually help you write a book or a memoir or whatever you want to do with it, or just share it with your kids or grandkids. So I just encourage all of you to document your journey however it's most comfortable for you, whether it's talking like this on a podcast or being on a video or writing like on a blog. Just, you know, it's kind of like journaling now, but like if you do it in a digital format, then you're actually able to upload all this information and you'll have a story to tell, and however you want to share that story, whether it's personally or professionally. Anyways, with further ado, because everyone says without further ado, so I'm going to put some further ado in here, and we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. So have a great listen. Always love to hear your feedback. Send me an email if you wouldn't mind rating and reviewing or forwarding this podcast on to somebody who it could change their life. I really appreciate it. All on our mission to reach 1 billion people by 2025. So on the count of 3, let's say heal the world and get out there and do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Heal the world! Thanks for swinging by the Miracle Plant Podcast. We're going to have a great episode for you here to listen to. And be a blessing, everybody. And happy healing.
Unstoppable kick-ass confidence. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted show with Christopher Rausch, where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Now please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch.
It's the Raw Unscripted show, ladies and gentlemen, and I am your host, Christopher Rausch, the No Excuses Coach. I'm the guy that helps you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of most ages. Yes, we do swear on the show, so if you have sensitive ears, please go somewhere else. It's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, your place for raw and unscripted conversations, where we bring you the juice on how you can actually turn your mind and turn your perspectives and turn your opportunities around so that you actually do shit with your life and not regret it. How about them apples? Ooh, regrets suck, don't they? Regrets suck. What is up? Already got party people in the house. Teresa Silcock says, hello, Christopher Rausch and Justin Benton. Where's Justin? Fuck, where's Justin? Where's Justin? Where's Justin? I don't know where he's at. Oh, thank you, Teresa, for spending your Tuesday evening with us. I had to remember what show it was and what day it is. Ray's in the house. He says, what's up? Good evening, all. Good evening, all. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is a great evening. It's a beautiful evening out here in Southern California. According to my weather barometer, it's 97 degrees. And fortunately, my air conditioning works. So thank you, God. It's only 79 degrees here in the studio. So that's not too bad. We got Christina Finch in the house. She says, bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Je m'appelle. Yeah, I speak French. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? No, we're not going to go there. We're not going there right now. Not right now. Some other day. We'll go there. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been an exciting week. So today is since we have Ray and Christina in the house, Robert's in the house, just may be in Clubhouse. Justin may be in Clubhouse. No, Justin's right here. He's backstage. He's in the green room. He's getting a massage and he's eating green M&Ms, courtesy of the Raw Unscripted show. They have these little metal signs on the M&Ms. It's just like, yeah, kick ass. And every time you eat one, you just become smarter and brighter and just more aware that there's love in the world instead of hate and fear. Ooh, don't get me started. Don't get me started. So anyways, yes, today is day 15 of 75 Hard. If you guys have been keeping up with me here on the Raw Unscripted show, you guys know I'm doing 75 Hard, and I'm leading a band of gypsies called the 75 Hard Unstoppables. Get that, 75 Hard Unstoppables. So we're having a great time. And people are just overcoming their self-limiting beliefs so quickly, quitting drinking, quitting smoking, quitting all the stupid excuses that hold us back. So I'm happy to be leading this crew through this 75 days. And today is day number 15. People are rocking it, even in the heat, even with sore muscles, even with people coming unexpectedly, all the different excuses that normally come into our life. These ladies and gentlemen are overcoming those excuses, saying, no, I'm going to put myself first. So I am doing that as well. I got up this morning bright and early, went out for my 10-mile bike ride, which was about 55 minutes, and came back and felt great. Did I want to get up and do it? Not necessarily, no. But once I got out there and started pedaling, started feeling the fresh air in my face, I was like, yes, I'm so glad I did this. And that's the problem with a lot of what we do and what we don't do, is because we don't feel like it. We don't feel like, I don't want to do it today. But do I feel like having the results? Yes. Oh my God, I want the results so bad. I'll take a pill. I'll take a pill. So magically I'll get results overnight. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't work. No, it doesn't. I'm your no excuses coach. I'm here to tell you that you have to go through a little bit of shall we say, growing pains in order to undo the shit that you've done to get where you've got. Because if you want to go somewhere else, you gotta unwrap that, and you gotta kind of put a bow on it and figure out what you're gonna do with it. So, yes. Christina says, send some my way. What's up, Robert? So good to have you here. Darlene says, evening, beautiful peeps. Good evening, beautiful people. Darlene is a beautiful soul. Thank you so much for being here and spending your Tuesday night with us here live. We're going to be having a great conversation here just in a second. But one thing I wanted to bring to your attention, and I don't do enough of, is that I've been selected and I've been on the board of directors for helphealhumanity.org since January. So we've been having board meetings every month, and we're making massive strides in what it is that we want to do to help heal humanity. Fortunately, I'm on the USA board, so we've been focusing a lot here in the United States. And with that, one of the opportunities that I have as one of the communications directors or vice presidents, whatever I might be, is to get the word out about what we're doing. So we're actually hiring pillar directors right now. It's a volunteer position, but if you have a desire, if you have experience, if you have a desire in, the different pillars that we're doing, which is like food for humanity, dining for humanity, education for humanity, business for humanity, yoga for humanity. We got all these different humanities that we want to strike to, because we want to get every segment of the population thinking forwards in terms of love and not hate and fear, which is what we got going on in the United States and the world around us. So that is our mission. That's our goal. So I would love for you to go to www.helphealhumanity.org. I'll say that again for those guys listening here on the podcast, www.helphealhumanity.org. Go there. And if you're interested in volunteering, go over to the volunteers tab, and you can see all the different pillar director job descriptions. You can see that there's how you can volunteer in your area. There's a lot of great things. It's an awesome organization. I've always wondered about nonprofit organizations and wondered, where does the money go? And is it really going towards the cause? And what shifty stuff is going on? But I happen to know the founder and the president, Serena Buffalino. She's been here on the Raw Unscripted show twice. She's been on my other show, The Unfiltered Experience, twice. She's an absolute massive force in the world. She just had 2 big trucks going around and delivering meals to homeless people in Ontario, different suburbs, just massive. Go check her out, Serena Buffalino. But again, go to helphealhumanity.org and check that out and support us. We would appreciate that as well. So, Oh, look at Ray. Ray is being so awesome. He's got it in there too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So tonight's discussion is about healing. Tonight's discussion is about alternative therapies that we can use in lieu of traditional Western medicine. And that's something actually, funny enough, on the Unfiltered Experience on Friday, we're going to be talking about that. I think we're talking about alternative medicine versus functional medicine, or traditional medicine, basically looking at the different aspects of what it is now, since so much has come out about cannabis and all the different modalities out there that can help heal us without the pharmaceutical impact, without the the rat race that we get into. We go in for an ailment, we give us a pill, they give us 17 side effects, we take 3 more pills to treat 14 of those side effects, and then we just kind of go down that banana hole until we wind up either dead or sick and tired of it, and we actually do shit the healthy way to reverse some of the damage that we've done with ourselves. So I'm super excited here to be having a conversation tonight about cannabis with a cannabis expert who I've come to know through Clubhouse and other means. He's a genuine heart. He got into this business for the real reason. So I'm excited to have Mr. Justin Benton here on the Raw Unscripted Show. Justin, welcome to the Raw Unscripted Show, brother. How are you doing this evening?
Fantastic.
I'm not a criminal.
How are you doing?
I'm not a criminal. I'm kicking ass and taking names, man. We're here in Southern California. You're up in Ventura, right?
Yeah, you don't want to know the weather here because it's 71, I think, with a cool ocean breeze, but that's why we live here.
Oh, you suck. Yeah, it's 90. Well, we're down to 96 right now here in country Riverside, but no, I actually love where I live. It's all good. Actually, I'm going to the beach tomorrow anyway. So welcome to the Raw Unscripted Show.
Air conditioning.
Hell yeah, thank God. Yep, thank everybody. So we already got we got hi Justin, what's up? Ray's already put your website up there. Darlene's sitting there going, hey, throwing a little plant up there, and Ray's saying, Justin. I could tell you a story about a guy named Justin, but I won't. I'll tell you offline. But anyways, man, so we're here talking about cannabis. We're talking about alternative modalities for healing people, especially in this time where so many people have gained COVID weight and everything else. I want to start off the show on a fun note. When I was thinking about this, and I'm like thinking about cannabis, and the different, weed and pot and Mary Jane, all different, names we can call it. What was your first experience with cannabis?
Ooh, wow. So I haven't had that question asked in a while. So, I mean, my first experience is probably like a lot of people. I was in high school. I think I was a junior in high school, maybe. And we were out having a good time with some friends. And that was back in the DARE days and the Just Say No and all that. And, all the cool kids all the skateboard kids wore the DARE t-shirts. But, I was just out having fun. I always kind of stayed away from it. It was really demonized. And so I just remember one night I was hanging out with some of the cool kids, seniors, whatever, and somebody had some and I tried some and did not have a good experience. I'm pretty sure I got sick and threw up. And so I was turned off by it originally. I tried some in college, had a little bit better experience, but about halfway through college, I realized I wasn't going to graduate, or I wasn't retaining the information I was learning. So if I wanted to graduate, I should probably put the bong down, which is what I did. And I that was my first experience with it. Definitely more of the what we call marijuana side. How about yourself, brother?
Right. Yeah. I was, let me see. No, I wasn't 13. I was probably about 11 or 12 years old. And my stepbrother, he was my mother's husband's son, and I use that term loosely, was a pot smoker. He came to live with us for the summer, and he was like 7 years older than I was. He's like, oh, hey, man, you ever get high? And I'm like, no, never done it. He's like, oh, you want to? My mom and her husband were going out to dinner or something like that. And I was kind of getting peer pressure at school a little bit. So I was like, yeah, why not? And he set up the perfect experience. He brought his speakers, and he's had me lay down on the ground. We took a couple of hits out of I remember it was like a wooden pipe, and I took these hits and I was like, couldn't even breathe. I was just like, oh my God. Then all of a sudden I was like, I thought I was standing sideways. I was like, what the hell? And he's like, all right. He goes, I want you to lay on the floor in between these two speakers. And I said, okay. And he was a big music fan. So I was like, all right, we're going to listen to some music. And then he put on something that I had never heard before. He put on Pink Floyd. And I just remember being like,
nice.
Pink Floyd, these huge House Kenwood speakers or something like that. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't even feel my body on the floor right now. I was just like tripping. And then, yeah, we had a good time, but I guess we didn't realize how fast the time had gone by. So then my mom and her husband showed up, and that was not a pretty sight. But yeah, that was my first experience. So it was interesting because I liked it, but I didn't like the feeling of being out of control. So my use of it has been sporadic over the years up until I started really realizing, that it's not pot, it's not weed, it's not, it really is a medicinal plant that provides a lot of opportunities, a lot of healing. And when I started doing research on it, when I was looking at it for my own use in pain management instead of doing opioids, I was really surprised, Justin, at looking at all the research that's going on, like in Israel and all the different places, like massive amounts of research on finding out that we have an endocannabinoid system and stuff like that. Talk to me about that journey for you and going from where you were as a youngster and now finding, cannabis as a career and as a journey for you to make a difference in the world.
Yeah, well, again, so I was in college. I enjoyed the experience of mind expansion, and Pink Floyd with speaker sounds like a blast. And so, anyways, but like I said, it just wasn't for me, especially as I got to my like mid-20s. I got kind of paranoid and anxious, and so I just kind of gave up on the plant. For some people, they had a good time with it. For me, it was I didn't have a good experience, kind of like a paranoia, if you will. And so I just kind of gave up on plan. I said, well, it's not for me, which is fine. And went on with my life. And, then, we had that tragic news that came, and we found out our son lost his ability to communicate at an early age at like 3. And, our whole world was rocked. And we did everything we possibly could. We cleaned up his diet, talked to researchers, doctors, flew all over the world. And fortunately, I was raised holistically. I was raised with plant-based medicine. So I had a good understanding to not go down the pharmaceutical model and trust my instincts. And so that's the road I went down. And fortunately, I was sitting at a diner, Busy Bee Diner in downtown Ventura, California, with a buddy of mine who was a cannabis grower. And I was also a cannabis grower as well. I did it for fun. I just thought it was an interesting hobby. And I didn't smoke any of it. I literally just grew it just to grow it. And so
you were dabbling. Your subconscious mind was already dabbling in what you were going to be doing.
I just found it very interesting that because in California it was legal. And so my buddy's sitting next to me at the diner. We're having some ham and eggs and bacon. And he's like, my doctor friend wants to invent a roll-on pen for pain for a knee. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, it's a CBD pen. I go, what, CDB? CBD? I had no idea what he was talking about. And he said, yeah, apparently CBD is in the cannabis plant and it helps with pain. And so I quickly did a bunch of research. And then I found some research that how this plant was helping kids with seizures all the way back in the 70s. And so my son was diagnosed with a severe autism or, neurological ailment in the brain. And so I figured, well, if it's helping kids with seizures and epilepsy, which is in the brain, maybe by the grace of God, it would help my son. So we went down that road, and that's kind of how I got introduced to the whole other side of the plant, the healing side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. I've heard so many different stories. When I remember when Colorado opened up, I was reading in the news how many families were moving to Colorado just to be able to put their children on CBD and THC medicines for seizure therapy and for some other ailments. I mean, it's just absolutely magnificent. And you brought up a point that I was going to make earlier is in when I was on YouTube and looking at the research, I was blown away at how far back all of this really goes. Do you know about the history of it and what happened with the pharmacology and how it was rolled out? Talk to us a little bit about that, because most people don't realize that. They think it was just something from the 60s or the 70s, but this was big stuff, even with cocaine, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. So cannabis goes back 8,000 years. Medical journals in the Orient have traced back cannabis. Yeah, just 8,000 years that we've have known about it. And it actually goes back 30,000 years that we've been able to trace humans carrying the seeds with them, the indigenous folks that would move around the continents. And so we have developed an endocannabinoid system over those last 30,000 years that directly communicates. Basically, this plant is a DNA match for our bodies. And so like the plant went this way and we went this way, but we're still of the same, basically DNA code. And so 1936, they made that crazy movie called Reefer Madness, and they wanted to make marijuana illegal. There's lots and lots and lots of reasons why they did it. None of them are good. A lot of it was capitalism, some, racism and other horrible things that they did with jazz musicians. And they even stole the name marijuana with an H from Mexico to slander the name. So they actually made up that name in 1936, and they passed the Marijuana Tax Act in 1937, which doctors in the United States wrote 2.3 million prescriptions for cannabis oil for migraines and other things like that. So after they passed the bill in 1937, making it illegal, the doctors from the American Medical Association were like, "What are you doing? We use this. This is part of our arsenal." And so it's a real tragedy what happened, but the good news is we've righted those wrongs.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, so massively. I mean, I sit there and I look at all the states that are opening up and seeing, people being released. It was like, oh, I got caught with 2 dime bags, and all of a sudden, I'm in jail or prison for fucking 10 years or something like that because it was my 3rd strike, and the other one I stole a candy bar when I was 19, whatever it might be. Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. And seeing people's eyes, opening. I've had so many people, because at first when I started using it back, geez, how many years has it been? Because I did not like, the feeling of being like all high. I was like more of an upper, alcohol kind of guy. But when I started realizing I didn't want to be on opioids for the rest of my life and started doing that research, it was pretty amazing at what the effectiveness of the plant does and how many different components of it can do different aspects of it. And so you were talking about, looking at CBD. Talk to us about that CBD component. I'm personally well-versed on it, but our listeners and our viewers may not be as well-versed on it, because I know some people are like, am I going to get high off of that? Talk to us about the CBD portion of it and why it's so healing for our bodies.
So first off, CBD stands for cannabidiol, and our own body makes CBD in the form of what's called 2-AG. CBD can also be found in broccoli and kale and 25 other fruits and vegetables. It's as natural and healthy as eating a bowl of salad. It will not get you high. It will get you healthy, just like eating a bowl of salad or kale would. And CBD is just one part of the plant. It's actually the plant itself that really is the miracle. We call it the miracle plant. And so when you consume, like when you get celery or an orange, you don't like throw it in the oven and cook it and pull out the vitamin C and all those kinds of things. No, you just squeeze the orange, or you put the celery into a juicer and you drink the whole plant. Well, that's what was the true miracle for us. Now our son is no longer on the spectrum. He's no longer diagnosed as autism because we cleaned up his diet. We juiced cannabis, and we found that research from Dr. William Courtney, who was treating people with late stage inoperable cancer and having incredible results back in 2011. So it really is, we all look for this like fountain of youth or this, holy grail. This plant is the closest thing I believe we'll ever find. And granted, you have to do your part. You need to drink your water. You need to do the 75 hard. No, but you need to, eat right, think right, sleep, mindfulness, all the things that you know so well.
Yes. No, thank you for sharing that, Justin. And it really is important because, I came across you and I was getting my CBD oil from a buddy of mine, and I'd heard so many positive stories about your particular brand and your method of it. So I'm actually a card carrying member, ladies and gentlemen. There's this one is called Alleviate. There's different flavors. This one is citrus. So I take this one. I also have Boost, which is a great one. Also, this one is, I think, a tropical taste. I've got another one called Chill, and that is bacon flavor. I found out that's more for the dogs, I guess, but it tastes like bacon to me, so I like it. And then the other cool thing about it is like you were saying, you created the roll-on stick. Yeah, it's called Raw Relief. So I've been using your products now for a couple of months now, and I just appreciate everything that you put into the company and put into the products and put into the service. Talk to us about you're talking about taking the plant and pressing it. Talk to us about the different components of how CBD oil can be created.
Well, there's a lot of different ways that you can create cannabis products, and unfortunately, we have been using an older model that was made just for THC. So when you grow a high THC cannabis plant, we call it marijuana because, as we know, they named it in 1937. And marijuana is basically high THC cannabis. Well, in order to get high, you have to put fire to that THCA, because it's the acid form of THC, to the marijuana plant. Otherwise, you wouldn't get high. So literally, when you saw the movie Cheech and Chong, and Chong's chewing all the weed when they get pulled over by the cop, and he's like on this acid trip, you don't get high.
Yeah.
You have to put fire to it. And so people were making CBD products the same way they were making THC products, which just doesn't make any sense, because you don't need to burn the plant to get healthy. In fact, when you burn and heat and isolate and process the plant, you're getting rid of all of the wonderful 500 parts of the plant, these other cannabinoids that are in there, like CBG, these other flavonoids that are in there, like canaflavin A, which is 30 times more effective than aspirin for pain and inflammation. You're getting rid of these terpenes, which have essential oils and therapeutic. Beta-carotene is also pain reducing for inflammation. There's all 21 amino acids, chlorophyll, omega-3s and 6s. Basically, this is the superfood of superfoods. We should all be eating it, getting our hemp supplements every day through oils, and I use hemp protein powder as well every morning. It is the perfect balance. And I firmly believe in 3 to 5 years, we're all going to be taking our hemp protein powders, our hemp oils every morning, our hemp topicals, and we're going to get back to awakening that this pharmaceutical model is the alternative model from 8,000 years ago, and we can heal ourselves because we are what we eat.
So true, brother. So true. We are what we eat. We are what we do. And that's one of the reasons why really I decided to do 75 hard, was like, I was at a point where, I was doing good and I do good. I mean, I shouldn't say it's easy for me to do good, but for me, I'm always looking for that next step. And so for me, it was like, okay, what else can I do for my body? What else can I nourish my body and take it to that next extra level? Because when we do that and we hydrate ourselves, we get the proper amount of sleep, we're eating the proper nutrients, we're not eating sugar, we're adding these accoutrements to our life. That's when these really have the best value, right? I mean, when you're taking care of your vessel and then all of a sudden you're putting this stuff in there, that's for me what I've really found to be helpful. And when I think about where it is that we're at, talk to us about that journey with your son. What type of feedback did you get from the medical community, from your family, from your friends? Like, what are you doing? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. Everybody's got a fucking opinion about shit. How did you handle that situation? Because I want to just also acknowledge mad respect for the fact that you trusted your gut. Right. I mean, I know you said you were brought up in a holistic way, so that's definitely why you probably did that. But thank you for trusting your gut, and talk to us about the other question.
Yeah, I've gotten that question before, which is interesting. And I'm the oldest of 6. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm one of those crazy people, and so giving a shit about what other people think. Fortunately, I think I don't know that I ever really did, but I might have had it a little bit when I was younger. So when you obviously have a child, you start to really understand what love is in a whole nother way. And all you want to do is protect them and have them live a healthy, happy life. And so that's what I trusted my instincts. I could care less what anybody thought. Another good thing was that we lived in California. And so it's, people are obviously a little bit more laid back here. And so we never got any pushback. We had some issues with some schools, and we had some issues and things like that. But at the end of the day, it also worked out that his diagnosis was also the time where they legalized hemp, which is ridiculous. It was actually illegal too because of that Marijuana Tax Act, but they legalized it in 2014. So I could just go down and grow some hemp in my backyard and make the oil myself for my son, which is what I did. And so just the fact that we were, seeing the progress and getting our son, getting the fog cleared was all that really mattered to me. And I know a lot of people struggle with that, especially in different parts of the country, worrying about stuff, and maybe things are a little bit more conservative as far as those things go. But we work with a lot of families with autism, a lot. That's part of our mission to pay it forward, and we give products away for free. If you reach out to me, we'll give you free products to try, free consultations. And one of the things that we say is trust your instincts. If it doesn't make sense to you, do your research, get a second opinion. Like if we get into a little door ding or a car accident, we three estimates, but when it comes to our own health or the health of a loved one, we just take the first guy in a white jacket's opinion. And a lot of them are good dudes, but a lot of them have been trained by, unfortunately, big pharma. If you do the research, they're the ones that train the doctors on what to prescribe. And if you dig even deeper, they're also the ones that write the medical board exams. So they have no idea what the endocannabinoid system is, because wouldn't you know, how many questions do you think there are on the medical board exam about the endocannabinoid system, which CBD interacts with, and it balances all other systems in our body? Zero. So anyways, trust your instincts for yourself and for your loved ones. And that's the coolest thing about working in with this amazing plant, is that we get to see people empower themselves and take control back for their own health.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Take control back of your own health. So you said something about consultations. So I'm guessing consultations, CBDs, you've got like scientists and you've got all these Harvard graduates. So I understand your mom does the consultations. Well, how cool is that? Yep. Talk to us about that. What got mom into it? I mean, it raised you holistic, but that's beautiful. Because Teresa's in the house, and she said the consultation with your mom, Justin Benton, changes our lives.
Absolutely. That's awesome to hear. We love Teresa. So my mom obviously raised me holistically, and I understood plant-based medicine. And so she was also the one that helped guide us with our journey with Shay, because she was also a psychologist for 40 years working with children with special needs. And so that obviously helped. I mean, we had some serious support. And if you go to 101cbd.org, then there's a button on top that says free consultation. You just click on that and you set up a Calendly, and it's free. I mean, the advice that she knows about our journey, she's also a healer, a master herbalist, and an integrative health coach. She's a healer, and she knows a lot. And so she's helped a lot of people, helped the old man, cured him off of cancer back in the 70s. And so we have a lot going for us, and that's how we did everything we could to heal up my son. And we're here to pay it forward, because, even she'll tell you that with all the herbs and all the experience and expertise she has, she's never seen a plant do as much as this one does, especially with neuroregenerative. So that's where we see a lot of people who have like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or ALS that have real, complex issues. It helps our own bodies neuroregenerative. But this plant helps our bodies recreate pathways and reset everything back to that, that homeostasis.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to take a minute here just to grab some of these comments. Thank you, brother. Take a drink if you want. Take a breath. We got a lot of people here in the house. Let's see. Let me go back here. Christina's in the house. Colleen's in the house. She says, love my 101 CBD Chill X. That's why I got my Chill X right there. Bacon. Go for the bacon. Christina says, I do baking with it. And then she says, really? Yes. Blue Dream. I make sweet potato chocolate chip cookies. That's interesting. Send me that recipe. I want to try that. I think I'm having sweet potato fries after this interview. Colleen says, it's changed my world. I couldn't agree more. I got Darlene in the house. She goes, I fired up first thing in the morning to get my day started, but that was back in the day, not nowadays. Oh, you did a wake and bake. That's what you're doing, Darlene. Christina says, I haven't had nightmares or flashbacks from Cupcake Delight. Okay. Let's see. Let me see. Thank you, Colleen, for sharing it. You're awesome. You're awesome. Awesome. And let's see. She says also from using it to be able to sleep soundly at night keeps me peaceful. Yeah, there's different forms, right? I use the vape, just to be transparent. I use the vape. I use the oil underneath my tongue. I use edibles. I use also this thing that I had when I was struggling with insomnia a little bit was I use this tincture, and I thought, okay, I'm a 210-pound, 6'1" guy. This guy's trying to sell me this tincture. I'm like, what is that, for fucking flowers? And I can't remember what it was called Sleepy Time or something like that. And it had lavender and had a couple other things in it. I'm like, whatever. He goes, a lot of people really dig it. So I'm like, all right, I want to do natural. I don't want to fucking go on anything. And so I started using it. I was surprised at how well that even worked, like the tinctures and everything. So there's so many different opportunities out there for that. Darlene says it's found in breast milk. I don't know, and I don't remember. I was drunk. I'm just kidding. Let me see. Yes. Teresa says amazing results for Tate's migraines with it. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. John's in the house. He says, Ray, come to my podcast to talk about this. Okay. Christina uses weed oil. This is look at this. Look, you like this. Pharmacy over pharmacy. So pharmacy with an F versus PH for you guys listening and not watching this on the video cast. Here we got. Darlene says it's giving me my quality of my life back. Absolutely. Christina says here, she asked a question of you. Do you think it will help with COVID-19?
So if you go to our Miracle Plant podcast, you can actually hear, we've interviewed people that have had COVID-19 and you get to hear it from their, directly from their mouth. And so the people that have experienced COVID-19 and were taking lots of the CBD oil along with, good nutrition and water, they got over COVID-19 in a day or two. And the folks that didn't, the husbands typically, they experienced, kind of that 2 or 3 week kind of fighting it off and fatigue and things like that. There's also lots of research out there in Israel, Canada, other countries besides ours, because ours is a big pharma model. And again, not to get too technical, but the ACE receptors is where this virus latches on, and the actual CBD oil or the cannabis oil blocks the way that the virus attaches to the ACE receptors. So it's been proven up to like 75% effective for that. And also when you get the actual COVID-19, if your body overreacts, it's called a cytokine storm, and it's overinflammation, which causes all of the issues in the lungs and the pneumonia. And it's actually your immune system is overreacting, whereas the cannabis oil, remember, it balances things out. So if your immune system's overreacting and causing inflammation and pneumonia, taking the cannabis oil will back it off and will allow that cytokine storm to actually get back to neutral. So it helps, in my opinion. Do your own research. Go to pubmed.gov. And there's lots of other countries out there that figured it out as well. Unfortunately, our model here is a little more pay to play.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's so. Thank you for answering that. There was something else here I want to. John says we need to tell your story too. What does that mean to you?
Story?
Justin? Yeah, apparently he says we need to tell your story too. John's giving you a lead in.
Yeah, well, I think, my story is about my son and how we were able to find this miracle plant by basically juicing it and cold pressing it. And that's really what, got us into this industry. And I basically changed our whole lives. It was the answer to our prayers. And now we pay it forward. And, we have these free consultations and we give away these free products. And I shut down all my other businesses, everything that I was doing before, because I saw the huge gap between what this plant can do and what people think about this plant. And until that gap gets closer, this is my life's work.
I love it. John comments again. Thank you, John, for being here with us. What it means that I want to publish your story on our network. Ooh, look at that. You're going to be on the NBC network. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what network you're on, John, but yes, I agree. What was one of the other questions that I had? When you think about one of the other things that I was thinking about in doing this, and I think you and I briefly had talked about it on Instagram or something like that, was the fact that, when it first started out, it was like there was only a few people that were doing it. Now there's like, you go on Weed Maps or you go do your research. There's so many different people making CBD oil and touting CBD oil. For the people who might be getting into this right now, obviously we recommend going and checking you out. But what are some of the differences that maybe people should be looking out for to make sure that they do get quality medicine if they're traveling out of state or they don't have your products with them?
The biggest thing is kind of like you do with everything else, is look at reviews. The big thing is look at COAs, which are certificates of analysis for each product that you buy. So it tells you exactly what's in it. And reach out to the company and make sure you identify with the brand and call and ask questions. But sometimes you just got to try things. Another thing you want to look for is whole plant. So they're using the whole plant with everything in it. They call it full spectrum, but that doesn't really mean they're using the whole plant. If you look at a COA, you can count all different cannabinoids like CBD, CBG, CBC, CBN. And if it has all the cannabinoids, the whole plant like ours, then you know you're getting a whole plant product.
Mm-hmm. It's like putting all the vegetables in the mixer and taking all the nutrients. So in addition to cannabis, Absolutely. I mean, some of the things that intrigued me from looking at the cannabis research and obviously becoming a card-carrying member and educating other people in it, because like, oh, really, Chris, what can it use for? I mean, I gave my buddy had created a CBD balm. And I tried it and it really didn't, he gave it to me for my shoulder pain and it really didn't do anything, honestly. But one of the guys on my team was saying that his mother was struggling with arthritis really bad. And I thought about it. I'm like, well, I'm not really using that. So I brought it in and I said, hey, here's some CBD oil. Let me know what she thinks. He came back 3 days later and he's like, man, my mom wants to buy this from you. I said, no, it's hers. She can go ahead and have it. He came back to me. He's like, that's the only thing that actually ever worked for her. So in doing that and thinking about all the different ways that cannabis can help us, I started researching even more. As part of the documentaries, I started finding out about ayahuasca. I started finding about MDMA, DMT, psilocybin, and so other alternative modalities for continued healing. What is your familiarity and some of the other things that are going on in the world today that are related to plant-based medicine?
I stay abreast on everything that I can. I know there's a lot of microdosing going on with psilocybin and, some of those other things like ashwagandha, which is more of an herb. My opinion is if it comes from the earth, it's worth looking into. If it comes out of the ground, take a look. I would always recommend slow and low and do microdosing and work with a professional who really knows what they're doing. Because when you go into the psychedelics, there's enough smoke there for me to believe that it's really starting to help some people. But, again, you don't want to take a whole bunch of something. You don't really know how you're going to react to it. And yeah, you might be like that scene in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh man, we were just talking about, I just dropped his name.
Johnny Depp. Or Hunter S.
Oh, yeah, who he was playing. Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we were just talking about him the other day. I met somebody who said that before he killed himself, they talked to her mom. Who was that? I think it was somebody. I don't know. It was another discussion, but that's far and near from here. So yeah, I mean, when I started getting into it and realizing, psilocybin right now is on the main front right now, as far as being able to be almost a one-stop shop for treating PTSD. So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy, but it's so funny because so many people still have that opinion like, oh, it's bad and it's addictive and all these other different things. Talk to me about that and your thought on addiction to the plant, or is it an addiction to the result of what the plant provides?
Well, as far as this plant goes, there can be a psychological, correlation to THC. But there's nothing physical that has ever been proven that there are some withdrawals that people have experienced, especially like with sleep, who are heavy THC users, but there hasn't been anything really proven that it is an addictive plant per se. But, you might get used to being in a certain state of mind and things like that. But there isn't anything really been proven scientifically that it is addictive. Actually as the plant, like nicotine or other things like that.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was thinking about when I was talking about that. Because some people, it's addictive. It's a gateway drug. It's all this. Like, no, I'm living proof. It wasn't a gateway drug. Actually, I didn't use it until I decided that I wanted to use it for treating my pain, treating anxiety, treating sleep problems. I mean, it's just been so phenomenal in all those different areas. Christine, I just want to catch this comment so I don't miss that. But she says, thanks, Christopher Rausch, for putting on this show. I needed it, and this is boosting me up again. So, yes, you are most welcome. You're most welcome. She also says, I love that movie where we're talking about. Yes, Darlene says, so many people need to be educated. That's why we're doing this show, Darlene. Absolutely. So if you guys have questions, please feel free. This is an opportunity to ask Justin. And of course, we're going to put his website up here in just a few minutes when we close out the show, so you guys can definitely connect with him and check out the products. That's one thing I also wanted to comment on your products is I got the sampler pack, and it was like really cool. It was actually it was like miniature. It was like miniature bottles, but it was just really professionally done. And the products that you guys have on there. Talk to us about the impact that CBD has had in other areas of medicine. So you were talking about autism. Is that something that has been shown consecutively, or is it hit and miss on how you treat it if it actually helps somebody on the spectrum?
So my phone is about to die. So let me come in on my computer here. So let me hold that question, check some comments, and I'll be right back in my computer. Let me back in. Phone's about to die.
Okay, you got it. No problem. No problem. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Doing your interview on your phone that's about to die. Ooh, Justin, I'm gonna get you. Go get your computer, buddy. Go get your computer. So Blue Dream, actually, Christina's here. Blue Dream. You know what's funny? When I actually did the plant, I can't smoke the plant anymore. It's just like, it makes me nauseous and all sorts of weird stuff. So I actually do use the vape. It's really cool. Actually, it's just this little cartridge. It's a little cartridge. So I actually do CBD and THC. So it actually helps me just in different types of situations that I'm in, to be able to process and everything. So, Christina says here, she goes, it has helped my PTSD immensely. I am ever grateful. Yes. Do you give weed to your animals? No, but you can actually give CBD oil to your animals. I actually do that for my dog and his joint pain. She says, I have weed oil and weed butter. See, that's another thing. Let's not call it weed. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's not call it weed. Let's call it marijuana. Let's call it cannabis. I call it medicine. I tell my son, hey, this is medicine. He was asking me the other day, he was asking me a question. I had my put this under my tongue. Justin recommends 5 to 7 minutes. So I put it under my tongue, and my son was asking me a question. I was like, And he's like, oh, Daddy, you have your medicine under your tongue. And I said, So he understood. He understands that. So yeah, Teresa says here, she goes, incredible results from my dog and her quality of life. She is much more mobile. Absolutely. It's crazy because I recommend you guys, while we wait for Justin to get back in here, go do some research, go on YouTube and look at it. It's crazy how it was outlawed. And it's so beautiful that it's coming back, because I believe that all of us have a voice. All of us have a voice in all of this. And so the advocacy work that's going on with it is absolutely beautiful. And again, from the PTSD side of things, go look at what psilocybin mushrooms in microdosing formats is actually doing for people. I was just talking to somebody the other day because I've been gaining experience on it. I'm interested in trying it. I'm interested in finding out what it is that I need to unlock in my own brain and my own psyche and my own soul, so I can continue on progressing in this journey called humanity and everything. So yeah. Can't remember what I was going to say. That's the joy of marijuana. So, John says here, I got it from my mother after knee surgery, and it was amazing. Speaking of which, that's an interesting topic. My mom had lung cancer, and I spent the last 2 years of my life taking care of her, surgeries and amputations and all sorts of stuff. And there was a point where she stopped eating, and it was kind of crazy. And so, I would go into her nursing care facility one day. And she, no. That's what it was. I get a phone call. So I got a phone call usually from my mom every day saying, I want this, or I want cigarettes, or I want, even having lung cancer. And one day she calls me and she goes, can you bring me some Cheetos? I'm like, you hate cheese. You hate Cheetos. She goes, I know. But my roommate has Cheetos and they're really good. And so can you just bring us a bag? Cause I told her you'd bring a bag. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? My mom wants Cheetos. So I go there and my mom's all like this. And I'm like, what's going on? So I made friends with the meds nurse, Carlos. And I said, dude, I said, what is going on with my mom right now? And he says, your mom has been given a cannabis medicine. And I said, say what? I said, my mom's high right now. And he's like, pretty much she's got the munchies. And I'm like, no way. That is so cool. Sadly, it only happened for a little bit, and then unfortunately she started losing her appetite again. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Scott's sitting here saying, he goes, Christopher, thank you for having Justin on your show tonight. I've had great results from my arthritis pain using CBD. You are most welcome. I mean, this is definitely a discussion that we should have had long time ago. And Darlene says 4th of July is coming up for our 4-legged babies. Need this too. Yes. Yeah.
We'll have a big promotion for that. So look out for that.
for the CBD oil for the dogs on the 4th of July.
Nice. What makes it? What is there some sort of hidden meaning behind it?
The dogs, and when the fireworks go off.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
And so it really helps calm them down. So we have that bacon flavored, which you got for yourself, which one of my favorite stories is that this vegan guy comes into our CBD store. We have stores out here on the West Coast and the Rockies. And he's a vegan, but he's got like massive migraines. And all I had left was bacon. We were sold out. And it's vegan flavored bacon. So he was okay. But he's like, I don't care what it tastes like. This headache's got to go. And this is the first time he ever tried CBD. And so you're not the only human that's tried bacon. It is good for the dogs. But hey, man, I love bacon. I cook it every weekend.
I was like, fuck it. I like bacon. So why not? Why not? John's asking the question, do you think it helps with allergies?
Again, so CBD and the endocannabinoid system balances all other systems. So it's certainly worth a shot, man, and having a healthy immune system is going to help, repel anything.
Yes. All right, Christine, I'm going to whack you here in a second. No more. What do you think about that, Justin? When people call it weed, I had a friend of mine bring that. I had a friend of mine bring that to my attention. He goes, man, it pisses me off. It's not a weed. It's medicine. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, we want to, because it really is medicine, and we want to make people take it more serious. So, recreational has been turned over to adult use. When in doubt, just call it cannabis. Mm-hmm. That's the name of the plant. Like all these other names were made up. Part of it was made up so we would look at it like Cheech and Chong. But the more you do research, when you go to places like PubMed.gov, you'll be blown away. Because again, if this plant is balancing our immune system through the endocannabinoid system, it basically it allows our body to heal itself. Just like when you're 7 years old and you cut yourself and, tell your body, don't heal. It's going to heal itself. Our body wants to heal. We eat so much crap and processed food and refined sugars and pesticides that our liver and our kidneys can only do so much to keep up. But when you eat right, which is eating, this is a plant. If you're using it as supplementation, it's just like taking those little tinctures is like eating salad for a week, all in a little concentration. And so it can help with anything because our bodies can help with anything if we give it the resources that it needs. But I know a lot about what you do is the mindset. So it's not only about what we let in here, but it's also what we let in here. And if you get this in sync with this, you can beat anything.
You can be unstoppable.
Yep.
You can be unstoppable. Colleen says, I titrated myself off of 7 different prescription medications including opioid addiction. Amen, sister. I did it twice. She says it saved her life. Teresa comes on to say, she goes, we were at the end of our rope, 30 years of migraines, 1,600 milligrams twice a day, and they subsided in a week. Living testimony. I trust Teresa. I know Tate. I know Justin. So yeah. Cheech and Chong, favorite movies from my childhood. Absolutely. Up in Smoke. You can't live without Up in Smoke.
So I golfed with Cheech once out here in Southern California. He was in the same country club. And he joined us. We were just playing, and he goes, "Hey, can I play?" And it's like, "Is that no? It can't be." And so we played a few holes, and he's a pretty good golfer. He plays it left to right, and he smokes some menthols. I forget the brand. I think Cool. And he's a pretty funny guy. He's really humble. He's a big golfer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's funny. First time I saw him talk with that, and he didn't have a mustache. I'm like, what? I just thought that's who he was.
So
sorry.
Funny.
I used to get high and just watch those shows crazy all the time. Darlene says it helped my daughter with migraines. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please get this opportunity to go over. So we have a couple of websites for you that I want to share. So one of those is www.freechillcbd.com. Again, for you guys listening, www.freechillcbd.com. Go over there, check it out. It's a wonderful way to be inducted and getting an opportunity to try the products, and then also be able to go over and order the products directly from www.101hemp.org. Again, www.101hemp.org. Yes, I can talk. Justin, brother, thank you so much for being here on the Raw Unscripted show. The time has just flown by. Final thoughts. What would you recommend to people who are either first-time users or savvy users like myself, as far as continuing our education and continuing to see what the plant can do for us?
Well, just like we talked about earlier, and like you said, is trust your instincts. It's just a plant. It's come from the earth. Start slow and low. If you go to that free chill cbd.com, you'll see you get actually a free product. It's the Chill X product that will mail to you. Another cool thing that we do that we didn't talk about is if you put in the notes at checkout, if you want some free hemp seeds, we'll mail them to you for free with any order, and we'll teach you how to grow them in your backyard, because that's our goal, is to have everyone planting hemp in their backyard, just like tomatoes and cucumbers, and you can juice them yourself and really develop an awesome relationship. So I'm really stoked to be here, brother, and I'm just keep doing your thing. It's a great mission that you're on, and all the organizations that you're a part of, brother.
No, thank you. I appreciate you. It's been a blast. We'll definitely be talking more and more. Sherry McQueen's in the house. She says www.101hemp.org. She says, Christina, does it mail to Canada?
Absolutely. Yes. We mailed to all 190 countries, even the ones that are a little weird about it. If people want it, we'll send it, because this is medicine. It's the miracle plant, and we don't worry about those little customs things. Every once in a while, they'll snag one, but we'll just send another.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. Colleen says, love you, Justin. I'm going to place you backstage, Justin, and round out the show. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much, brother, for being here. Guys, connect with Justin. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the Raw Unscripted show. We blew by 52 minutes just talking about cannabis, talking about CBD most importantly, but within this conversation we've had is the fact that it's an opportunity for you not only just to take supplements, because the way I used to look at it, in a way, I've taken care of myself pretty good most of my life, is I would sit there and say, okay, I'm a little bit of a partier, so I'm going to take these supplements, take my vitamins, work out to offset the fact that I'm doing damage to my body. But realistically, what we could do is identify the fact that if we're doing damage to our body and we're trying to offset it, what is it that we're really gaining? And that's something that I had to ask myself that question for. And one of the reasons why I'm doing 75 hard and just taking my overall health more seriously, because as we get older, we can't take for granted what it is that we might not have, right? So for men over 50, they say that we lose a pound of body fat, or a pound of muscle every year after 50. So that's crazy when you think about what it is that we're up against. So I'm out to prove that wrong, rebuild my muscle strength, stay focused on where it is that I'm going. And I encourage each and every one of you to do that. What is one aspect of your regimen, your health regimen right now, that you can change that would result in the most gains? So do you need more sleep? Do you need more water? One of the massive shifts that we've seen in 75 hard already is the fact that people were not hydrating. When I would ask them, how much water do you drink a day? They're like, oh yeah, I really should do better. I really don't drink much. I'm like, do you realize your body is like somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 and 80% water? And then if you are dehydrated, then your brain's not going to work as well. Your muscles and your joints aren't going to work as well. You're going to have inflammation in your body. You're not going to feel very good. Therefore, you're going to go to a short-term gratification, and you're going to be miserable, have shitty sleep, and the process is going to repeat itself. So yes, I'm poking you in the face, poking you in the chest. I want to poke you in the face. I'm poking in the face, poking in the chest, to really wake up and realize, like Colleen was saying, like, take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for the fact that you don't want to end up in a bed sometime looking back on your life and having regrets that you didn't take your health more seriously. Connect with Justin. Alternative therapies are there for a reason. Western medicine and all the other shit that goes out there. I mean, just for example, we were listening to a commercial the other day. I mean, laugh if you want me in the comments right here. I was listening to a commercial the other day, and I can't remember what it was. It was like itching or something like that. It was something fucking stupid, but the caveats, the side effects, the potential side effects. I thought I was listening to a skit from Saturday Night Live. I'm not kidding. I was on my phone and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I thought my wife changed the channel. We were watching Saturday Night Live, and I look up like, is that real? Is that real? So you can do that route, right? And I've seen people do this. I've watched my friends do this who are older. They took shitty care of themselves. They figured that they would make it up one day. They didn't. They got on one pill. They got on another pill. They got on another pill. And now they're all fucked up. And I'm like, what do I do, Chris? What do I do, Chris? Start taking care of yourself. Start eating healthier. Start looking at alternative modalities. Start looking at CBD. Start looking at cannabis. start looking at eliminating sugar from your diet. Oh, but I have a sweet tooth. Well, fucking die early then. I don't give a shit. Get diabetes, get an amputation, go for it. If you like sweets that much, go for it, because I got something to tell you. There's alternatives to sweets. There's amazing stuff. My wife makes these cupcakes. They're like a Hostess something or others. No sugar and taste amazing. Taste amazing. Especially when you're using this stuff, right? You gotta have the munchies and you're on 75 hard. You got to eat healthy stuff and like carrots and shit like that. So I just want to thank you guys. Most of all, thank you for being here. The Misfits for Life of the Kick-Ass Nation. I love you guys. Scott, thank you so much for being here. Christina says, I've been drinking the water over 2 liters a day. Yes, need more water. Trust me. 15 days into 75 hard, people are flipping out on how great they feel. It's like, oh, wow. So definitely need more water. The water makes so much difference. Teresa's saying, less wine, more water. Yep. Less Jack Daniels, more water. Well, I still drank a gallon of water any day. That's why I say I take really good care of myself, but I party hard, but I really take good care of myself for the most part. Black bean brownies. Thank you guys all for being here. Hey, let me know in the comments what kind of topics you want me to cover, what kind of guests you want me to have. I appreciate you, each and every one of you. If you're not already in it, go to wrong show. Go to Raw Unscripted in the Facebook group and join us there. And if you have any questions, if you need something from me, you can always go to www.christopherrausch.com. If you haven't had a complimentary coaching session with me, please, by all means, go there, book it today on the calendar. I'm happy to do that for you, get you started in the right way. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, half of the year is nearly over. Have you accomplished half of what you set out to do for 2021? Half of the year is nearly over. What are you going to do? I love you guys. Stay kick-ass, stay classy, and we will see you here next time.
Thanks for listening to today's show. To check out more great cannabis podcasts, go to reconnects.com. Here's a preview of one of our other shows.
How do cannabis CEOs balance growth and optimization strategies? What is THCO, Delta-10, and CBNA, and why should you care about these minor cannabinoids? And why isn't the endocannabinoid system covered in medical school? Most people think they're up to date in trends in the cannabis industry, but they're about 6 weeks behind. Learn about what is truly next in the cannabis space by joining myself, Brian Fields, and Kellen Finney every week on the Dime Podcast and, of course, on PodConnects.